Alrighty, welcome back. Yes, you're watching Women's Corner. Apologies, that was our commercial break. So we continue the program listening to Omodunni. So you were saying something about how you came about the funding. Of course, now that you're big, how was the funding like having to start bigger now, not just from your room or from your school or whatever? And also, how did your parents take it when you decided to kind of leave the certificate aside and just focus on being a culinary chef?
Okay, so I would say I wasn't making so much when I was in school. Sometimes I started with doing things for free, right?
Oh.
I didn't put the mind of making
the
so
business
much because I didn't have my right audience, my target audience.
Oh, okay.
And literally, I wasn't studying what I wanted to study in school. So
Really?
I did something because I already knew that the way I was going, I had something to fall back to, right? So my mom was like, shout out to my mom, she's like my greatest inspiration. She was very supportive, right? And she actually gingered me, let me use that word, because she's part of the welfare in church.
Oh.
So they gave her the responsibility to always cater for food.
Oh.
So they were always using our house to cook. So, and they're always cooking overnight. She had people to come in to cook, and I was always watching. I don't sleep because all those Olopo, they're always making noise in the house.
Of course,
and
yes.
I would sit down to just go and steam chicken.
I'll still meet.
And taste me. So the Olopo that always comes to the house to cook, she loved me so much that she even had to drag me and say, "Choco, sit right." She tell me in Yoruba, let me sit down here and come and learn. So I used the opportunity to learn. And it was a great one. My mom to enjoy it. She didn't really restrict me. So when I finished school, I still kept on learning. I went to a baking school at first. So I learned how to make pastries, cake, and all those things. So in line with that, I also learned food alongside with it, which was a bonus class. And my mom didn't complain about it. But how did I get the funding part? Well, it's two way things, right? I'm into two things, right? Like I said, I'm also into the real estate thing.
Also,
right? So I had to gather money. So anytime I get to sell, like you sell and they give you commission.
Of course, yes.
So anytime I get to sell, I always save. Like I can save. This government is saving my house, so I always save money, and those money I put it back into the business to get my materials. And also my mom was very supportive. I would tell her, I don't have much. She wouldn't encourage me. She would go to the market. She would say, I bought you coolers, I bought you this. But at the right back of me, I'll be like, oh, this one is trying. Anytime I make money, I just send her the money back. And so she was very supportive. I knew I didn't have the millions at first, but with her support and all, this actually helped the business basically. And I didn't make my first million in school. Basically. So when I started having events that I started saying like, oh, this food business can give me millions. Going back to school, I know I studied English. English and food is
it's different thing,
actually. A lawyer.
Oh, you actually look like one, though.
So I got the cut of mouth, but something happened. You know, when they're changing of cut of mouth, so I had to switch to English, and it has been a sweet one basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how have you been able to manage being a chef and being a real estate agent, a realtor?
Okay, so basically, this real estate thing. So I did my NYC 2021. I think that's when I finished. I'm not miscalculating, right? And I was working in a real estate company. So they were always having my company is a brokerage firm whereby we work with other real estate companies and developers, and they're always having events like every week, every Saturday in store, housewarming, and all those things. So there was a time they called me because I was working at the front desk and I was earning how much. So it was very little with the government allowed. It was not enough for me, but I was like, and in my life I've not done the first number. They had the top like 500 realtors to come around because they went for site inspection. And they were like, oh, I'm a chef now. Call me anywhere I go to. I always said that I'm a chef, I can cook, just give me the job, right? I have not done it before, but and I always call my mom. She's the first person I always call that. I've not done this thing before, and they asked me, can I get that for 5 months? She said, yes, collect it. We'll do it. Right? And sometimes something they say that if you are not so good at a particular thing, you can hire good people
to do it. Yeah.
Right from that, so I was also learning from them. And substantially, I don't need to call them every time. I can also do it on my own. Then I got the job and I was able to cater for 500 people.
Oh.
You were asking how did I get the funds, right?
Yeah.
How did I get the funds?
And how were you able to manage being a chef?
And a realtor. So it was very flexible for me when I was working at the office. So I didn't go to office every day. And most times I always get jobs from my real estate company. So it was very flexible. So if I tell them, oh, if they tell me, okay, come and cook. So they'll give like a
Of
day break
course,
and go to the
yeah.
market, do some
Yeah.
shoppings and cater for them. So it was like working hand to hand. So because most of my clients were from the real estate firm. So I don't need to say, oh, I'm running to Ikeja. It's only if I have wedding events and oh my god. But most times it was always real estate. So from work to sites to the kitchen, like it was together, sharp, but it wasn't really stressful for me because they understood. So they always give me a break. I'll go today, come back tomorrow, you know.
So are you still in the real estate business?
Yes, so I am.
Okay. So I'm going to ask question of how you're being a mother, a wife. Is it a different thing? Okay, not a mother yet. Oh, great. So how you're being a wife to your husband and at the same time being your own self and still being a chef and still an estate person. No, don't worry. Calm down. Let's go for a break. We'll go for a break so that you just respond properly. So let's quickly go for a short break, and of course let's have our next tip that will come back and understand how she can be, I don't know what to say, superwoman, doing all of this and still looking pretty. So we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Procrastination can take some interesting forms. It can also have very serious effect on students. According to Psychology Today, students who procrastinated were shown to generally have lower grades and reduced well-being. Whether your procrastination technique is Netflixing, online shopping, napping or cleaning, you should work on strategies to overcome it and manage your time wisely. Practical ways for how to stop procrastinating. Admit that you are procrastinating. Pick a good study location. Eliminate distractions. Set goals you can reach. Work with a study group. Reward yourself. Take a break. Hold yourself accountable. It's okay to put things off from time to time, but it's important to note that long-term procrastination could potentially have a negative effect on your health and body. If you've been procrastinating without consequences since high school, it's time to overcome the negative habit that could affect your sleep schedule and work quality. Your work and other responsibilities don't go away over time, so put away your phone and stop web surfing.
Welcome back. You're watching Women's Corner. Well, that is the tip to avoid procrastination. Anyways, let's come back to you. So how are you able to be being you, of course, because you can't throw yourself aside when you're doing all of this. You still have to take care of yourself. You have to know who you are, your boundaries, what makes you happy, what makes you feel fulfilled. Now that is being you. And how do you do the same thing? And congratulations to you. I have to say that she just got married last month, so I have to say congratulations to you. So maybe from here, just go to your honeymoon straight up. I'm kidding. So anyways, you're welcome. So how you are being yourself, being a chef, and at the same time, I'm sure the certificate is still very valid for you, and at the same time, you're still being a wife to your husband, then an real estate manager or personnel. So how do you do all of these things combined?
Okay, so I am someone that likes to be myself. Like, I'm trying to always wanting to be around people, but I'm very comfortable when I'm with my kind of person, right? But if I go outside, like, this girl, she's so gentle, she's very shy. Yes, I can be very shy, but when I'm with my guys, I'm always on the next level. So, and it has also helped me, right? I know this business too has also shaped me to be outspoken,
Spoken.
right? I know that most times they say chefs are always behind the kitchen, but when I have people work with me, it's always easier. So I'm always at the forefront, right? And I just don't always like to look anyhow. So anytime I go out for events, I always dress properly because I can meet potential clients.
Clients,
So when I get to talk to them, when they perceive me, like when they look at my dressings, and I always love to smell good too. So it always creates a different rapport when I'm talking to them, and they also want to engage me and like, let's work together, right? So that's made me very comfortable, and that's been me.
Okay, gratitude.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you concerning your workforce, people you work with. How many workers do you have? And do you have like a full staff on ground for every of your others? Or when you get others from clients, you just bring them in, like a contract staff thingy? So how do you get your
Okay,
workers?
so I just do basically contract staff. I don't have staff I pay salary for now because of my work, my real estate work, and also so anytime I need them, I just call them on board, like my servers. I also have someone who manages my events anytime I go there because I can't just be doing
Everything at once,
right? So I just get to call them. And most times it depends on the number of events too. So I've done up to like 1,500 guests for a day events. Sometimes we get to have like 2 events, but we get to share ourselves. So one person goes to a particular location, another person goes to a particular
1,500.
Yeah. There was a real estate company that had governors, cabinets.
Wow.
So it's actually a very big event.
Oh, wow.
I actually need a lot of people on board. I need like maybe 10 to 15 servers, no driver, get the boss and all those things. So I just get to pay them after the event is done. So I don't pay.
So maybe at this point, I can tell people to bill you when they see you. Well, that's amazing. You're doing good. No problem. Please don't say no problem. Oh, no, we don't want them to bill you. You're still building up. So you said something about contract staff, and I'm very scared when it has to do with contract staffs because you can call them to come, and you find out that they tell you they're busy, or you try to, gather them together. Okay, I need ushers. I need this person. Trust me, I've worked with people like that where I had to even come in like, okay, can you work with this kind of people, this kind of, we just need somebody to be there. So when it gets to situations like that, I don't know if you've had it, how do you work with that?
So challenging. I'm going to use myself as an example. My wedding was last month, like I said, and I've been planning this wedding for like 6 months. I have like different people I get to work with. I have some like I do different I have different menus. So I have small chops, I have food and all. So this particular person, I've been talking to him for 6 months that okay, you're going to handle the small chops aspect. So I don't want everybody to do it, so it's not big tartar. So I always delegate each and every one of them to do a particular thing. And 2 days to my wedding, he called me and said it's not going to be available.
What?
I didn't even know where to start from. So it was really, really challenging. But thank God, I always have a backup plan.
Okay. So
for each person, I always have like 2 people doing one particular thing. So if one, I know their strengths and their weaknesses. So I called the other person to come on board. Even the other person I had to call on board to told me he got a job.
Oh, that's another thing because when you have a plan A, you can't tell them, oh, be on standby plan.
Yeah,
they'll feel somehow.
It was really, really crazy. I said, oh, they just called him too and he needs the money. I was like, I'm also going to pay you, but I don't know what he must have had. And all. And so it was really challenging. But he had to send some people to work. And I cannot be at the food vendor.
Of course, when it's your day, no.
It's going to be my day, and I don't want any flow because I'm very key on standard. Have to taste good and everything.
So how was it for you, your day, having to, because looking at it, you're the one that had to organize that. How was it?
I had family, friends, I had an event planner, and actually the review was so good. Everybody delivered. I also had some caterers too on board to cater for some things, so it was very serious.
I can imagine you when they are doing your makeup and you're like, please hold on, I want to pick a call.
Okay, you
do that? Oh, great.
I already told myself, well, anything that was to happen, I know that it was a day wedding. So anything that was to happen, I'm not there. I've done my part. So anything that was to flow by.
You just know you're going to get married that day.
But all the reviews I got from my Chevy ladies, my guest was top notch and it was great. So it got me rest assured.
Okay, so do you have any training going on for people that want to learn cooking, catering in general? Do you have any?
Also, currently I don't train yet, but I'm looking towards it. Yeah, because I've been having questions and all, but I need to properly, put everything in place. So I just don't want to just do it to collect money.
Okay, so let's do it.
When you come and meet me for advice,
Yeah, you'll give.
To share. I don't like to hold deals because it's like.
It's very simple.
Yes.
Vanity upon vanity. Anyway, to add to what you said, because you just said like you like to share, you like to give advice, which is one of the core reason why we have Women's Corner. In as much as you share your story, we at the same time try to motivate others out there. So that for people who want to be like you, who want to reach out to you, and also for people who would want to be part of the contract staff that you would have, like they want to work. If maybe it's usher, maybe they are also chefs, maybe they are also, I don't know, whatever you have to do when it comes to culinary and also events, they are part of it and they want to maybe be part of your growth and they want to reach out to you. How do they reach out to you? Like, do you have a social media handle or a website or a WhatsApp number for,
Yeah, so I just launched my website. Yeah.
Great.
And you can also reach out to me on Instagram, Beanosh Catering Services, on TikTok and on Facebook too, on Instagram and also Thread. So basically, yeah, you can be free to come into my DMs, ask me any questions. So my advice for people, young ladies out there, and if you are still in school, because now in this economy you have to have
something
do a lot of things to make money. One job
it's not
cannot
enough.
give you the lifestyle. Some people have high standards, so you have to jam and everything together. And even if you're in school, you can still learn. Now, there are a lot of food bloggers online. You can just keep practicing. You don't know when one deal will just come up or somebody will get to eat your food and like, oh, I love this food. And they can tell you, oh, I can train you. Are you ready to go to culinary school? So it can come up that way. So don't give up. Keep learning. Very important. Don't believe that you know it all. Even at the stage I am, I always keep learning. I always love to meet my mentors, ask for advice, right? And be good at what you do, right? And I know passion is very strong. You must also have the passion if you want to go into the culinary field. If the passion is not there, I'm sorry. After one event,
you crash out.
But there'll be a time whereby your food will not get ready in time. And also trust God. God is very important. Life is spiritual. Even the business world is spiritual. So you need to be prayerful and hold on to God very firm.
Very
trust
firm.
me, every other thing will fall in place. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you for the advice. Gratitude, what do we have?
I have so many questions to ask you, but first let's go on a tip and we'll be right back to the studio to continue our conversation with Omodunni. Stay with us.
Tips for maintaining mental stability. Here are practical tips to maintain mental stability and emotional well-being. 1. Manage stress effectively. Practice deep breathing, meditation, or mindfulness daily. Break big tasks into smaller steps to avoid feeling overwhelmed. 2. Maintain a healthy routine. Get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. Eat a balanced diet and stay hydrated. Exercise regularly. Even a 15-minute walk helps. 3. Limit negative input. Reduce exposure to toxic people and negative media. Practice gratitude by noting 3 good things daily. 4. Stay connected. Spend time with supportive friends and family. Join a positive community or support group if you feel isolated. 5. Take breaks and rest. Don't overwork yourself. Schedule downtime. Engage in hobbies or activities you enjoy. 6. Avoid substance dependence. Limit alcohol, caffeine, and avoid drugs. Use healthy coping strategies instead of harmful habits. 7. Set a realistic goal. Focus on what you can control. Celebrate small wins to boost confidence. 8. Practice self-awareness. Journal your thoughts and emotions to understand triggers. Learn to recognize early signs of stress or burnout. 9. Seek professional help. Talk to a therapist or counselor if you feel persistently anxious, sad, or stressed. There is no shame in getting help. 10. Maintain spiritual or personal growth. Prayer, meditation, or reading motivational content can provide inner peace. Engage in positive affirmations. Thank you.
Watching Women's Corner. So on to you, Adini. I was going to ask you, what you're a chef, yes, we know that. So your cookies, are they restricted to just food, or you also make finger foods as well, like small chops, sandwiches, chicken wraps, burgers, and all of that?
So we do both foods, right? Finger foods and normal food. So small chops, shawarma, sandwiches, rice, jollof rice, anything native to Yoruba food, Igbo food, or dry.
Really?
Yes, we do.
Wow.
Apart from baking cakes and all, we don't do that yet.
Okay, so what's the do nots, the don'ts of the fact that if you want to become a chef and you want to cook, like you want to be a chef and at the same time you want to have your own space. You know, some persons are chefs but they don't have their space, they just do it in their house. Their home is their workplace. So but for someone who wants to be a chef and wants to have an outdoor store, what is the do not, the don't, the never go to as a chef to keep, like, something you have to follow in line so you don't make mistakes? And that will help you for your own packaging too, also to be more presentable to customers or clients.
Okay, so currently I get to do from my house, right? Like the contrast of, but I always love to advise people, know your market, know your target audience. Some people, most of them, they want to open a restaurant. I'll give an example. They might want to open a restaurant at Ikorodu, and they are giving standard prices of someone in Lekki. You make money you want, no matter how much you try. But you can also be making from your house, maybe that's like Lekki standard. Lekki standard, they are paying rent, they're doing all those things, but you can also do the same thing as your man, still be collecting that same price. I would say do not just look at your target audience before you
start.
So it's not everything about opening shop. A lot of people are making millions of naira at the comfort of their home, and I didn't start with a shop, and I made my first millionaire in my house by cooking all night. And there are some shop restrictions that you can't cook. Quantity you want. So most times our space has to be outdoor. Most times if you are doing a huge number, so I would say just look at your target audience, know your market, yes, and always do your cost, your market cost is very important, because you need to know what this person in Lekki is selling, where she's getting her stuff might be directly from the farm. You might be buying yours from Lagos market, and it might be very expensive. You not be dragging, saying, oh, yours is expensive, someone is spoiling the market. So there are some things you need to know. Do your costing is very, very important, and also be key on branding. Right? You don't have to spend so much on branding. You can just do like a sticker, a thank you note, and also advertising your status. Let people get to know you from that, and before you know it, you're already big. From the little thing you have done, someone think you have spent millions, just something small. You might just get a nice paper bag, a brown paper. I know someone that if she wants to buy food, she just likes this, having this brown pack of food, or just white, looking very fancy. So you don't need to do too much. So just be very observant and observe your environment.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. Our time is already up, but let me just crack a little bit. I watched a comedy video where someone rented an apartment, of course, and paid her money. She paid in millions, I think, let's say somewhere around Lekki. And staying there, she's of course a business owner. Like you said, you can use your house. So she's always making all this finger food. She makes kits, she does a lot of things, and money keeps coming. They always see a delivery bike, a dispatch coming and going almost every time. So the woman had to peep from the window and notice that this girl is making a lot of money from the house. So she, one day, I don't know what went through her head, she knocked on the girl's door like, I want to see you. And you're like, okay, what happened? And she said, well, you paid for this house to live in. Now you Now you're using for business, and you're saying so you have to pay for the business angle, and like that's just to crack up a little bit. So for people who are, that's another way of saying the tax that well, the federal government asks us to pay the tax of 20%. So they are invariably trying to tell you that if the government is requesting for 20% tax, landlords, landlady, and shop owners, agents will start requesting for more tax. Anyways, that's the end of today's show. Thank you so much for being on the program. I hope you enjoyed the program.
Yes, I do. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Women Corners.
I love the way you pointed at the pillow.
Women Corners, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for coming.